screen. Boom, we'll start there. Oh, it is music. You're right. Oh, but it's on Google. Weird. All right, hold on one second. Let me drop that in for you. Well, it's in the shared. Oh, no, it's not in the shared Google Drive. Crap.
Yeah. Why don't you hit go live? Because we're 6:02.
Oh, I already did hit it.
Oh, well, thanks
We're live.
for.
We just don't have our pictures up. That's all.
There we go.
Hold on.
Do people
Hold
hear
on.
us?
Everyone's just, nobody really listens in the first few minutes anyways, so we're good.
Oh, so they don't even hear us right now.
Probably not. Okay, I just dropped it in the chat.
Got it.
All right. Cool. And I think I've got it too. And we won't start reading the script yet, but we'll do a little intro here. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Wendy, can you hear us already?
Live with Brent and Mike. Live with Brent and Mike.
What a great way to start the morning, wouldn't you say? Especially a Monday morning.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. So yeah, so that was good. So Wendy said, "Yep, she could hear us. She just couldn't see us."
Yeah, I didn't have our pictures up.
Brent and I are going to get better with our communication and signaling when it comes to. I mean, the red box was up there, so it did show that we were live. I just.
I totally did. I didn't explain clearly enough to Mike that this week we're going to go live on a screen without our pictures.
And is there a way to also go live on the screen without our audio so that it's just like a holding thing, or are they going to hear?
Yeah,
us
no,
just
we
kinda,
can do that too. That was so. That was a good test this morning. So that didn't work.
That's awesome.
But it is possible. There is like a green room thing I can turn on and make sure our mics are muted and not going live, and you and I can be chatting over that screen first, and then we'll hit the show, and then boom, we'll be on. What's that?
Premature mic is never a good thing.
Yes, no matter. Both premature mic and premature mic, something to avoid.
Well, I wasn't talking about me.
I wasn't talking about you either.
How was your weekend?
Oh man, it was good. It was fun. Got to meet my cousin's new family, which was fun. Yeah. Always a good time to have family and friends out. They visited our place. Got to introduce them to the donkeys and the alpaca.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it was a good time. How was your golf game?
I practiced. Went to the range on Friday for a little bit later in the day, and then a little bit later in the day yesterday. And I trying to do that on the weekends to get just kind of working through some stuff. Guy also said that I was going to take a break this weekend. Like I was just shut everything off. I wasn't going to open the MacBook. That is, the new agent, agent stack that I'm
keep working the agent,
my agent force, and I didn't. But I fell into the freaking rabbit hole of website redesign.
Oh, did you now? That is a rabbit hole.
Dude. Again, Command C and Command V works well when doing HTML code on websites. So it reinforces to me that that's what coding is. Coding is just a lot of Command C, a lot of Command V, and what I'm also going to start to figure out, like, this next layer of learning how to use the agents properly is get them to do the Command C and the Command V type stuff, because I feel like George Jetson, excuse me, not Jefferson. We are moving on up, but where he just pushes the button and his finger gets sore from pushing the Command C and the Command V button when it comes to coding. But anyhow, it's if we've got some time, I can show you some of the stuff that we did there, but it's absolutely fascinating.
It is super fun, and it changes a lot of things. Yeah,
dude.
I think the more, like you've talked about before, and we've talked about this a million times, the more you work on this stuff and the more you use it, and the more you start to realize the different things you can do with it. And every time you have a new unlock, like a new thing that goes, oh, I didn't know it could do that too, then a whole new world opens up for you. And those unlocks only happen when you're engaged in it and just trying stuff out and just banging on it and see what it'll do. Every once in a while, you'll get a little tip or two from somebody else and you'll try what they're doing and you'll go, oh, that's a cool thing. Most of the time, it's just from working on your own projects, though. Yeah. At least that's what I've discovered. Could be wrong.
It's kind of like playing Super Mario Brothers back in the day, when you realize, oh, this is how I get all those extra lives. I got to keep jumping up and down on the turtle shell right when it's close enough to the rock. And if I keep doing that over and over again, I can one up my way and get myself prepared for all the other stuff. And somebody, you might do it by accident. You might stumble upon it, or you run across a friend who's like, dude, have you seen this? And
it is.
Or you watch them do it.
You know what? You're exactly right. I mean, that is a playing communal games. It is exactly what it feels like playing with AI, because everybody's playing with it. So yeah. What a great analogy. Yeah, you're like, hey, have you done this yet? Ooh, no, I haven't tried that yet. I'll try it. Ooh, yeah, it worked for me too. Perfect. Now I'm at the next level. Now I can, now I'll try something else and I'll let you know how it goes. Ooh, okay.
That's it, man. Maybe I need to open up set up a Twitch account and just, is that still how people are doing the live streaming of gaming? Is it Twitch?
No, totally is. Yeah. But you know what? That's what we do here. We just don't have enough people that really know about it yet. You know, if you want to do this kind of stuff, just hang out with us and we'll be your crew if you want to be messing around with AI. We've got Wendy in the chat. And she's working in Copilot most of the time. So we've got some Copilot expertise in the group already. We've got Craig doing most of the ChatGPT stuff, but I think he has begun to experiment in the other areas. So
he is. He's testing around with Claude. I have a request. Can we do when you're looking for something to just take your brain away and start doing some more audio stuff? I want some 90s game music going in the background.
Ooh, so we're going to call that 8-bit, 8-bit sound. And there are some folks, actually even pre-AI, there were some folks who came up with some really cool 8-bit sound generators.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I'll see what I can come up with. We'll make that as an intro for tomorrow, maybe. We'll do a 8-bit old school gaming sound effect. I think one of
the things that's super impressive to me, and it just it's this whole thing, and Wendy just highlighted, she's Copilot at work and then ChatGPT at home, or ChatGPT at home. Yesterday, as I made the shift from working on my irons to going and doing a little bit of wedge work, I uploaded the CSV. I did this all on my phone. I took the CSV, downloaded the CSV, the data table from my my practice session where I had, like, let's call it, 35 shots or 50 shots. Downloaded that to a flat file, uploaded that flat file into Grok, had Grok analyze my data and tell me where I had improved and where I had not. I also asked Grok to tell me the videos that it wanted to see of the swing, because the way that I've got a Garmin launch monitor that will use my phone and take video of the swing, and sometimes it's off, sometimes it's on. And my setup is not perfect. It's like all of that kind of stuff, like just little things where, if I was doing this with L&D would be like, look, Mike, I know we've told you this before, but you need to make sure that the camera is 10 paces behind where you're going to hit the golf ball. And you need to make sure that it is lined up directly with where your hands are, not with where the ball is or the angle of what you're doing, and whatever. Grok doesn't give a shit. Grok just takes a look at the video and is like, oh, that video got cut off, or that one did. But I can tell me the 3 videos, and I tell it, because sometimes it says, hey, I want these 5 videos, and that's too much. Like, I don't want to have to go through and just send, like, here are the 3 videos. So 3 specific swings. And then it tells me, hey, this is what's working. These are the drills that are working. So now I'm getting positive reinforcement. Like, hey, I can tell that you're doing these drills. We're starting to see that you're not moving your hip. You're not sliding your hip. You're rotating your hip a little bit better. I am getting direct coaching from a tool in a matter of just basic instantaneous coaching as I go from one area to another area. And it keeps track of all of the data. Like, it knows the historic data. It doesn't only remember the things it wants to remember about the historic data.
Yeah.
Like, it's so anyway.
Yeah. Well, there's more we can talk about on that. We'll hold off until the end of it, but let's, what do you say we jump into the news?
All right.
It's time for today's headlines.
Good morning, L&D world. I'm Brent Schlenker.
And I'm Mike. It's Monday, March 30th, 2026. Brent, you look like you've been up all night chasing alpacas.
Worse, Mike. I've been reading executive orders. We've got a massive show today. Breaking news from the White House that's going to make every compliance officer in the country reach for the extra strength ibuprofen.
Plus, we're looking at the verification tax. The reason your HR director looks so tired. And a new standard that might actually make learning in the flow of work more than just a buzzword we say to feel important.
Today's breaking news.
First up, the big one. President Trump has issued a brand new executive order entitled Addressing DEI Discrimination by Federal Contractors. Effective April 25th, this creates a mandatory contract clause that could see companies lose their federal funding or face False Claims Act liability if they engage in what the order calls racially discriminatory DEI activities.
So wait, Brent, if I'm a federal contractor and I have a women in tech lunch, am I going to jail?
Maybe not jail, Mike, but your legal team is definitely canceling their vacation. For L&D professionals, this is a massive shift. We aren't just updating slides anymore. We are now the front line of federal contract compliance. If your content doesn't align with these new definitions, you're not just failing a learner, you're failing a multi-million-dollar audit.
Does this mean I can finally stop taking that How to Be a Human mandatory module?
It means the How to Be a Human module is getting a very expensive legal rewrite.
I got to work on the whole whispering thing. I don't understand how that
It's
works.
time for
Moving from the Oval Office into the IT department, AI was supposed to save us time, right? Well, a new report from Unlikely AI says 86% of senior leaders are suffering from AI burnout. Imagine that, already getting burned out. It turns out we are spending so much time fact-checking the AI that we aren't actually getting any work done. They're calling it the verification tax.
It's like hiring a genius intern who occasionally hallucinates that the CEO is a cat. You have to watch them every second.
Exactly. For L&D, this is a call to action. We need to stop teaching people how to prompt and start teaching them how to audit. If your team is spending 4 to 5 hours checking a 5-minute AI output, you haven't automated anything. You've just created a stressful proofreading job.
Yeah, who needs that?
No.
And now for our human and culture segment.
Degree just dropped their 2026 Trends Report, and it's a eulogy for the traditional content library. They're saying content libraries are no longer destinations where employees go to learn, as if they ever were. But I digress. Instead, they are becoming ingredients for AI to assemble into personalized pathways.
So the LMS is basically, and the AI is a chef making. Oops. I went to double check to see how the LinkedIn feed was going on, and I heard our audio sound again. That was the beginning of this segment. So it looks like LinkedIn is about maybe 30 seconds behind us. So the LMS is basically a pantry, and the AI is the chef making a just-in-time sandwich.
Exactly. This shifts the L&D role from librarian to supply chain manager. If your content isn't tagged and AI ready, it's just rotting in the back of the fridge. We have to focus on capability dashboards now, not just completion rates. Oh, wait. Yep.
And now a random industry with an L&D problem. Solving the L&D problem.
It's my favorite jingle because it's your earworm.
It sucks. So,
I think because it's you're the most hated, it's my favorite. Anyways, that's
Thank
just
you.
you. Go.
let's talk healthcare. Columbia Southern University is making waves by integrating virtual simulators into their RN and BSN programs. They're using Shadow Health software to allow nurses to perform full head-to-toe assessments on digital patients.
As a guy who lived through the Click Next era of medical training, this is huge. These simulations meet state board requirements for physical proximity. It's a blueprint for any high-stakes industry like manufacturing or construction. If you can't get them to the volcano or the ER, bring the volcano to the VR headset.
And now for the news in authoring tools.
Finally, training industry just released the 2026 top custom content development companies. Oh, geez, you know what? I keep forgetting to hit the buttons.
Which button?
There. Now we're there.
Oh.
But the real under the hood story here is the Model Context Protocol MCP. This is a new AI standard that allows learning systems to talk directly to your workflow tools.
Think of it as the universal translator for your tech stack. It means Articulate, Adobe, and Domino are racing to make sure their content doesn't just sit in an LMS, but lives inside your CRM or Slack via these agents.
If you're an ID, keep your eyes on how these tools are implementing MCP. It's the difference between a standalone course and a course that wakes up when a salesperson struggles with a lead. That's our 15. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
That's our 15 minutes, Brent. Go check on those alpacas.
I'm on it. Stay curious, L&D. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Breaking news feed, technological bleed. creed. Industry is facing challenges, struggling to take the lead. Yeah! Authoring tools, plant the final seed. Have a great weekend!
Oh, wrong one.
Have a great weekend!
All right, we're ready for the weekend already. This model context protocol thing sounds kind of interesting. I'm going down a little bit of the rabbit hole on it. New AI standard to connect learning systems to workflows, shifting how L&D delivers and measures impact. That actually, as you go through the links, it was posted by Thrive on March 25th, 2026. I'll drop that link in the Slack. And for those of you who want to join us on Slack, just head to livewithbrentandmike.com, sign up there, and we'll send you an invitation. Model context protocol is emerging as a standard designed to connect AI models with software tools, systems, and data rather than operating in isolation. AI systems use MCP, can access business content directly, including documents, applications, process, and APIs. Have you heard of this or seen this before?
Yeah, so MCP actually has been a thing with the AI, with the early cutting edge AI people for a while now, and people were building MCPs for different things. And I vaguely remember conversations around MCP even last year. So it's nice to see that we're finally catching up, but as we always are a lagging indicator of technology, it makes perfect sense that we're picking it up right now, but it feels sooner rather than later.
It's kind of interesting, lagging indicator for technology, but being highlighted as the group that should be leading the AI initiative.
Yeah, that's what we heard on Thursday last week, right? HR has more successful implementations of AI than IT departments.
Yeah, well, and you see all the AI architect and the fractional AI folks, a number of them that are focusing on a lot of this readiness stuff tend to be in the L&D space. I've had a couple more connect up with me recently on LinkedIn, which is kind of interesting. I mean, the first person I remember seeing with that title was Myra, where she was like she was positioning herself as a fractional chief AI something or other.
It's a popular branding now, CAIO. It's kind of like
Ciao.
Yeah.
I love the acronyms that we have.
Yeah, but apparently that's become the standard now. So being the C-level AI person is CAIO, and it has stuck. So there are many in my network who have now given themselves that title. And really anybody can have it. If you've learned a little bit about AI and you want to be a CAIO, go ahead and update your LinkedIn. It's totally fine.
It is totally fine.
I think of it as, and maybe somebody can correct me on this, but it kind of feels like what XAPI was supposed to do for learning content, right? It's supposed to be it's supposed to be this universal translator, right? Or just at least it's supposed to be able to one language for all the different places where people go to learn. And now with an XAPI saving all of that content and those activities into an LXP, you can now track everybody's learning activities, whether they're learning in YouTube or whether they're learning in your LMS or whether they're learning in a chat group or whatever. All of that stuff can be collected as part of somebody's progress and knowledge base and whatnot. MCP kind of reminds me of the same thing. It's a piece of a bigger puzzle that's coming that hasn't been fully built yet. And like I mentioned earlier in our chit chat, I think I've got a pretty decent picture of where this picture is going to be going. And I've started a white paper, and I'm starting to post some LinkedIn ideas, pieces of that white paper. just to kind of start getting some feedback on where it's going. And of course, Monday mornings to get it all kicked off was a little bit of a clickbait, shocking title. So, sorry.
Clickbait, shocking title. Tell me more. Sounds scandalous.
Shock and awe. Well, Addie's going away was basically the premise, but
Addie's going away.
Yeah.
Is Twain going to come up and say the rumors of Addie's death are greatly exaggerated? Like, what's the?
Somebody will probably use that. Yeah,
that'll be good. I might do that just to mess with you.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe we need
Yeah.
to start playing like good cop, bad cop with each other's posts.
No, because the AI, the LinkedIn AI, already knows that we're connected and we do that. It's not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, Mike. It's totally not. It's totally not. It is on to us for sure. You know what let's do is let's go back to the top story and let's just work our way down. That MCP one was definitely a good one to kick us off conversationally, but I think let's make kind of a linear run through these things. And if we ever get to one where it's like, yeah, don't even want to talk about it, then we just skip it. But let's just see if we can kind of structure our post-morning brief conversation a little bit.
I was just so excited about it. I wanted to go deeper into that
Yeah,
one.
no, I'm glad you did. Yeah, well, excitement is the most important thing. So if something grabs you by the short hairs, run with it.
Like that earworm.
Yes. I notice how Craig strategically comes in after all of the fantastic song clips have been run.
Well, he missed the request, so he'll have to just hear it when it comes out live. All right, so let's go up to the top. So
Story number
White
one, the
House
compliance crackdown.
executive order, basically saying, what are we saying here? That DEI is dead?
I don't know exactly what it's saying, and at the risk of getting too political or ruffling too many feathers, I think no matter if you agree or disagree with any of it, I think the breaking news here is, hey, you're going to have to update your training. There's the new executive order basically changes all the stuff. So any of your initiatives that were created around DEI activities has now changed what it means to be compliant in those, and you got to update your training. That's all. Check with your legal department.
Yeah. I mean, how often do these kind of updates happen? Like the executive order type stuff.
Honestly, I think it's probably happened more than it ever has ever. I don't think it's really ever been that common. Like normally when a regulation will happen, think of like sexual harassment, right? We've had that for decades now. Everybody's had to take it.
AB 1825, like it is seared in my head. AB 1825, which was regulated in the state of California. More than 50 people inside your organization, all leaders had to go through the training, and we used that to get more. I mean, there were one of the companies that I first worked with when we started Catalyst, a company called Cantola up in Mill Valley, California. It was where they made a good mark on the world, as in their the video training that they put together, as they would do Hollywood style shoots to help with that training. And anyhow, but AB 1825 was a big deal.
And it's still around, right? And it's like
sure,
that
has not
changed.
gone anywhere. Yep, it has not gone anywhere.
Yeah, it's still the mandate. Everybody has to take it. Everybody hates it. Everybody has one of those or two or three of those courses in their massive library that I think one of our other stories talked about. So the content library graveyard that we've talked about in the past, is also part of this. Where
Yeah.
how do in the new world of AI, how does this kind of stuff actually get trained? And in researching and thinking through for writing about this in the white paper coming up, it became very clear to me that that type of compliance training will be the last hanger on to traditional training methods because of the legal requirements and because of how slow legal is. So, for example, if the legal requirement says it must be 1 hour's worth of training, this is why we've designed inside of our Articulate courses and Domino courses and everything, the turning off the next button until a certain amount of time has gone by, just to make sure that we've forced everybody to sit through this content. Whether they learned anything or not doesn't matter. They needed to be legally compliant because they were forced to sit in it for exactly an hour. Now, if you pre-test somebody, or AI has been, tracking someone, and they're like, "Hey, you're proficient in 50% of these sexual harassment objectives, but I need to spin you up real quick before the end of the year on the other 50%," and the AI is able to do it in 15 minutes. Your person may be fully compliant from a wisdom or knowledge perspective, but your company's still out of compliance because they didn't take the official 1 hour course. They didn't get the full hour that's required in the legal ease.
Come on, Craig. You know that some of the systems got smarter and it realized when things were minimized, or when you opened up another tab, or when you did other things. And come on, Craig. You know how this works.
Yeah, the new systems know everything about what you're doing on your computer, because when you launch them, they ask for permission to access everything about your computer. So
I remember. The guy that started Catalyst with Connor, who I also worked with over at O'Reilly beforehand. Well, he had. There was somebody you knew who was over at Apple, and what Apple was doing was, at that point in time, so this is before launching this business in 2015, Apple was monitoring their employees with the cameras and looking at what they were doing with eye contact on their machines. Like, that was part of the thing that he knew as an Apple employee that was doing that kind of a thing. Now, if Apple could do it with their tech, probably others were able to do it. And that was in 2015. Oh, yeah. So then people put remember the whole thing where people would start to put a little piece of like Scotch tape on the over the camera, and then you'd go around and you'd be at DevLearn, and someone would have one of those little privacy things,
the little slider. I've got one of those
slider thing. Well, then I just got a laptop back not that long ago. It was about probably 2 years ago is when it happened. I say just, but I know when I was going through this, which piece of hardware can I go screw around with? I had a laptop that had a broken screen, and the reason why the screen was broken was because of one of those one of those things. Like, the person who broke it was like, I don't know how it happened, whatever. I opened the thing up, I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Now, like 2 years later, now I know how it happened. I didn't go look at it, but it was because one of those little things was on there, and it just crunched, like it just caught it when you anyway. So yeah, it's this constant battle of, hey, this is how you're going to be monitored, and this is how you're going to avoid being monitored. And this is how you're going to be monitored, and this is how you're going to avoid being monitored. And I can tell you this: the machines have picked up pace.
Yeah, and it's all about protecting the company. That's what really this is all about, and it always has been. Don't ever forget that HR isn't there to protect the human resources. HR is there to protect the company from the human resources. So just keep that in mind as you progress.
They're not your friend. They're not your friend.
They're not your friend. HR is not your friend. Sorry, HR people, but as much as everybody that gets into HR is like, I'm a people person, I think it'd be great. I should probably go into HR because I'm a people person. Well, okay. Good luck with that.
Sometimes the reality does not match what's on the tin.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes.
you go in. All right, so let's talk about the verification tax.
The
'Cause this is one of
verification
those
tax.
ones that
Yeah,
keeps
we've
popping up.
talked about it before. What do you got?
I mean, here's the thing, and you highlighted this last week when we were talking about it. Is that it's cool. So if this whole thing would have taken you 2 weeks to do, and now the AI is able to do it in 5 minutes, but now you've got to take 4 hours to go through and proofread it and do it. As much as it sucks that that's not the fun part, the last mile type stuff, I hate proofreading. I mean, that's why I've got so many damn typos in the stuff I post. Like I post and then I go, oh, like it is, you still have saved time. The challenge is going through and saying, and I talked a little bit about this in the newsletter this week. Sometimes the work that you really like doing is not the work that people need you to do anymore.
Yes.
And then you've got to determine, okay, am I now no longer the right fit in this organization? Is this role no longer the right fit for me? What am I going to do next? So I mean, a lot of times, things haven't really worked out super well for the people who've decided to stand in the way of progress.
Oh, yeah. Historically, that's a bad move.
And then the question you've got to ask is, if you don't agree with the progress, or you're standing in the way of it, are you standing in the way of it because of your own needs and wants and perspective? Get off my lawn. Or are you standing in the way of it because you firmly just don't believe that that's the right thing to have happen? Like it's better for the world if it doesn't happen. Both of those are different perspectives. Most of the time, the people who stand in the way of progress are the ones who are doing it because of their own preconceived notions and their own biases and their own things that they want to, their own agenda. As much as you might position it as, hey, this is not about me, it's about everything else and whatnot. It's this whole kind of, lead follower, get out of the way. And I think you asked the question. I see Wendy's put some notes in here. It's, do you lead? Are you leading? If yes, keep going. Are you following someone? If you like that, keep going there. Or are you getting in the way? And if you're just getting in the way, maybe it's time to make a shift and ask yourself why. So Wendy said her husband built a 75-page doc with GPT, went to extract it, and it wouldn't do it. He spent 8 hours on it. I explained how to get it to work with that much data, and it did, but it had to be very clear with him. Ask this and walk away. I'm confused. Wendy, I need a little bit more context. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that. He did something. He tried to get it out, couldn't get it out, spent some 8 hours on it. And then I lose part of the story. Wendy, can you help me?
No, it sounds like she knows how to get big chunks of data out of what the chat GPT is doing. And so she told him what prompt to use and how to prompt it. And then you just let it do its thing, let it spin and do it. And then you just walk away and wait till it's done.
What's your perspective on the whole, just say something and let it do its thing versus, saying something super, 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 super detail and hoping it, and then letting it do its thing versus iterating?
It depends. I've gotten to the point where it depends on what it is that I'm doing. I understand now enough to know that, okay, I want to do this one thing. It's one of those things that I've done before. I know I get a better result if I do it this way and I put in all this stuff. What I've actually gotten started doing is if it's a new type of request, I'll ask the AI. I'll say, I'd like to, I give it the big objective, right? And I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. How would you write a prompt to get the best results? Ask me any questions.
Yeah.
And then it'll come back and it'll say, well, I need to know this. I need to know this. I need to know this. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. So, okay, I'll give you all those things. And then it writes a really cool prompt that it knows it will understand. And then I use that prompt and I'm like, it worked. Great. Thanks. Go figure. It knows itself.
So one of the stories that you shared early on that I really liked about your way that you interact with the tool, but it's not my way to interact with the tool, so I haven't done it. So right again, it's like, oh, cool. If you do that, you jump over this thing, it kind of works. Well, all right, I'm going to go keep doing things in a different way because that's just my style. I really liked when you would you do the prompt, you get the output, and then you'd say, kind of, what was the logic that you used? I'm using now my words, but what was the logic you used to get here? Like, how'd you get here? What was the process that you went through to get here so that you could kind of understand, here's the order of operation, the order that things happened as things went through.
Yeah, if you use, I'm primarily in Gemini, and if you don't use fast, I mean, you can still get how it thinks in fast, but if you use like the pro setting, you can click on the little drop down arrow. Once it gives you the response or whatever you're looking for, you can click down the drop down arrow at the top of the thing and it'll show you how it thought through exactly everything. And if you're watching it think, it's explaining to you exactly what it's doing as it's thinking and as it's building it, and all that stuff's getting saved. So if you want to save that for later, you can cut and paste all that stuff out and put it into a notepad and review it and look at it and write prompts around the order that it thought through all that stuff so you can get better at it next time. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways you can do that.
Grok does something similar, and I don't know if it's just in Grok or if it's Super Grok, because now I've got it on. Now I'm on Super Grok just because of what I wanted to do with my handle on X. But actually, to get my name, I had to upgrade to Super Grok, which is kind of a cool way to force me to upgrade. It was like, hey, this is an unused handle. If you want access to it, we can give it to you, but you got to go to the $50 a month version. And oh, by the way, if you change it at any point in time, we can take your name back from you. It's big flashing lights tells you this whole thing, and it's I love the token conversation with Craig. This is one of my favorite byproducts, unforeseen byproducts of all of this and working through it is seeing Craig pick up the torch and the pitchfork and go after the token challenge. It's what's super interesting about Super Grok is you'll see the agents interact with each other and hand things off to each other, right? Oh, this is what so-and-so is thinking about. Oh, I see this. This is what, and you see all of that kind of going at a speed and a pace that is absolutely phenomenal to watch, and watch things go in real time. And then you start to think about, oh, okay, how do I go through and do some of this and some of the other things that I'm building in the process so that I know this is the interaction, this is where the specialization happens, and this is what should happen next. So,
all right, let's do the content repository. I think we've already kind of talked about it, but Degree just dropping its 2026 trends report. It's a eulogy for the traditional content library. And the AI is a chef making a just-in-time sandwich. That's a good line. But again, there's the reason why AI is going to be great for learning and development from a user perspective, from an end learner perspective. Not for us because we're getting tossed to the curb.
Already is great. Like
But
already is.
yeah, it's fantastic from a learning perspective, without question. So it is like AI is just cranking out the sandwiches all day long for just-in-time learning in the workflow, whatever. When you have a question, being your coach, whatever, all of that great stuff. But the stuff that's going to linger is all of the legal compliance stuff. The stuff that basically drove our existence is going to be the stuff that the last remaining thing that keeps us around before we are completely pushed out of the picture.
The cockroach.
It's compliance is the cockroach of L&D.
Dude, that's awesome. Could you imagine? All right, I have a vision. Anybody go out there and build this whole thing. You can do it with Gemini doing a Nano Banana, and the best image will get highlighted here on the show. I want to see the cockroach of compliance fighting the lobster of Open Claw. Little celebrity death match.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a thing. I don't think anybody can really argue it. It's just progress. And it's not, it is what it is. Technology has gotten us here, and we just have to figure out where our value proposition is within the business. And I think for the longest time, we've put ourselves into thinking we provide a lot of value where that value isn't wanted. It's not that we're not correct in thinking that it's necessary. It's just that we try too hard to make our level of importance within an organization more important than the people running the company doing the work really believe that we are. And I'm sorry to be such a buzzkill, but
Do you mean at some point in time we might call ourselves architects?
yes, we're hoping that's going to change things in their minds, that a CEO will sit there and go, holy crap, I didn't realize I had architects all this time. In my HR department of all places. CHRO, how come you didn't tell me about this? How come you didn't tell me I had architects hired? I thought these were just training people that just built PowerPoints.
I don't understand. Why don't we just go just like level up and go all the way up and just be like organizational gods?
The
OGs. ORGs.
We are this close. We're this close.
I mean, like little G, not big G. Like, just to be clear, like we're not getting blasphemous.
Nobody has still ever answered for me the question of when is it that L&D is required? And the best answer I've come up with, for example, like if you go from like entrepreneur to enterprise company, right? In that whole flow of things, I want to know at what point does the person that started this company, it was one guy, one idea, gal even, one person, one idea, they cranked this thing up. They hire a co-founder, particularly a technical co-founder maybe. So it's this technical guy that builds the thing that was the bitchin' idea that the entrepreneur came up with. They start this company. The company starts rolling. They hire 2 or 3 other people. They just teach the people what their idea is and how to do it, and they teach them themselves. At what point as this little tiny idea, this thing starts to grow, does that entrepreneur go, wow, what I really need, I don't need a CFO, I don't need a CMO, I don't need marketing, I don't need anything like that. What I really need is a training department. I mean, because I hear these people, they're architects now, and they're going to help my company like be the greatest ever. And they're going to build my culture too, because they're responsible for the whole entire culture of my business. So at what point, when you go from one guy and an idea to 100 employees and they're an enterprise, is it that a training team gets created or developed? The only thing I can come up with that is that driving factor: compliance. Nobody can come up with any other specific element that or moment in time or moment in that process of growth where it's typically standard, like they would teach it in an MBA program, like, hey, entrepreneur, this is how companies get built from 0 to 100 employees, and it's at once you hit this particular point, you need to hire an HR person that hires your L&D team.
I think it's typically earlier than this, but when Cindy Lauren, and I have talked about it from an operations perspective, the numbers that we kind of agreed to after a conversation is about 150 people, which is a Dunbar's number. So once you hit that Dunbar's number inside the organization, then that's when functionally all of the cross-functional stuff that has to happen, where you start to say, maybe we need to centralize training and development, or that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you can get what opportunities of scale or whatever they call that.
And then there's the
economies of scale, I believe is the word.
Like Nike was one of my clients way back when. And what was super interesting about Nike, and I think I may have shared this story before here, but for those of you new, here's the story again, or here's the story. About every 3 years, they would change their head of the head of the group that was responsible for global learning and development, and in like clockwork, they would go from a centralized approach to a decentralized approach, because
we've talked about this before. Yeah,
and it was awesome to watch.
Intel did the same thing too. Yeah,
so you'd see it.
Let's centralize, and then a new person would come in and say, let's decentralize, and then the next new person would come in and go, let's centralize.
Well, and then it's because we don't understand the business, so we need to have HRBPs, human resource business partners, inside each of the individual functional areas of the business, and then they're really going to understand it, because the people inside that functional area are going to be happy to talk to these people in these roles. And so I think it's a Dunbar's number and compliance, and in like if we're talking about a revenue team, at what point do I need to have an enablement resource inside that business? I would tell you, by the time I've got 8 people on the team, I want an enablement resource inside the business. And I'm going to bring in a lower level enablement resource that can kind of communicate around the other functional teams. But if I've got 8 people in the group, I'm going to create too much noise for it to I need to start to centralize communication.
Yeah.
And that centralized communication could be through that person.
It's a department. I think it's, yeah, and I think you're right. And it's a great clarifying fact before we move on to the cutting room floor, is that it's not one moment in time for the whole business. It's different pieces of what L&D touches that it becomes a requirement over time. Or the revenue team is one, onboarding is another one. At what point can your existing employees no longer be the ones to onboard the next person coming on board? All that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a longer conversation for sure. The cutting room floor.
I'm going to promote it just one more time. I'm going to drop the link into the Slack chat. If you want to see my perspective on building scale inside organizations, which gets into this, check out the newsletter at findmycatalyst.com, and the one that we pushed live on Sunday. I'll drop it in the Slack channel, but that gets into this whole piece of we're doing a lot of really good generalist work, and then all of a sudden it starts to make sense that we specialize.
Yep.
and now you can carve things out, and it creates a lot of tension inside businesses. But now to the cutting room floor as we start cutting responsibilities when we specialize.
What? We do that? Fosway 9 Grid for Digital Learning 2026, third year of economic stress for vendors. Do you have the cutting room floor up? Do you want to do evens?
Why don't you just read?
Okay. I'll just cruise through.
You did Fosway, AI-driven role play simulators, the new surge in soft skill training skills.
MIT neuroscience study. Intelligence emerges from whole brain coordination, not isolated regions.
I like this one. I'm kind of surprised it dropped off, but the skills-based hiring growth, Korn Ferry reports a shift away from degrees to verified skills.
That would have been a good one. Automation regret. Survey shows AI-driven layoffs are costing more than they save.
Shocking. We saw that one. We saw that one pop in before. Tennessee AI legislation, new state level policies requiring AI governance in education.
And the return to office gap. 59% of employees are back in office, but only 19% are happy.
I wonder why they're not happy. The interoperability standards. One EdTech pushes for non-negotiable data standards in EdTech. Oh man, I wonder how old the person is that's running that organization. And I wonder if they're friends with the person who at DevLearn who wants to get learning onto a mobile phone.
Oh, let's stop there. Sponge named Fosway core leader. 5th consecutive year of dominance for the digital learning giant.
Intuit Assist for taxes, example of AI-guided workflow support in the financial sector.
There you have it, folks. A bunch of extra awesome stories that if you would like to talk about, or if any of them are interesting to you that you'd like to hear us have a conversation about, you can join us at livewithbrentandmike.com. Get all the information you need to get into the Slack and to get all the information to be here every day with us, Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. our time, because our time may not be your time. Am I right, Mike?
Oh, you were pretty close, Mr. Hand. But this non-negotiable data standards in EdTech. Holy, I mean, like, really, that's the hill that we decided to jump on?
I don't know. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the Microsoft HR complete redesign that went down, that has gone down in March.
What was it?
They dumped off a handful of their executive HR people. Yeah, it didn't get a whole lot of buzz.
AI consultants out in the world.
But yeah, long time. I mean, a few of the handful, they were just told to retire. You know,
Okay.
just take retirement, because they'd been there a long time. But Microsoft is completely redesigning the entire organization.
Ooh, I want to see that. If you've got a link to that, drop that in the. And I know I could just do a search or check with my AI friend, but drop that in the Slack channel. And as a reminder, if you want to be in the Slack channel, head to livewithbrentmike.com and sign up there, and we'll get you the invitation and keep the conversation going. And this is part of the thing we're doing here. And I know this has come up a couple of times in the conversation so far. Is it's sharing what's going on in the world. So as it relates to AI and emerging and enablement technology and the humans that we're trying to enable throughout the process. So providing a little bit of perspective there. And then also through that perspective, hoping that you look at it and say, ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's something I want to try, or I want to look into that a little bit further, because now you're aware. And then once you're aware and you're interested, then you can go in and start doing. And once you start doing, then you can start looking at your feedback loops and determine, do I want to do more of it or less of it? But you can't reflect on what you're going to do. So let's get out there, start doing things, then reflect, and ultimately iterate and keep the machine moving forward. I like the updated morning brief video here. This kind of felt very like, to me it was like very cop-ish, because we had like badges up there. It was like, ooh, you're gonna be in trouble for something. Which I don't know what deep-seated repressed memories that is bringing up, but anyway, they're there.
I don't know. Yeah. And, the executive producer knows I have alpacas, and I was impressed that they squeezed it into the script today.
That was funny. That was good. That was very well done.
All right. So we'll be back here tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios, everybody.